Okay, everyone, gather round. I'm about to retell the tale of Halo 5 from the one and only time I played it many moons ago, back in the before times of 21.5. Come. It starts off with a very high-budget scene with a bunch of people we haven't been introduced to yet, so we have no reason to give the slightest iota of a shit about anyone. But the red people hit the blue people, and there's shaky cam. Oh, the shaky cam, and you wouldn't believe how much screen glare there is. J.J. Abrams is sitting in his chair, crying a single tear as his face smiles 3 times larger that day, and he gives a thumbs up, saying, "Yes, this is how you do action scenes. Doesn't matter what the plot is, just thank you." And then an airlock happens, and some people go outside. And then there was this one guy. He's like, "Remember me? I was in that spin-off game. My name's Buck, and my catchphrase is, 'Frankly, my dear, I don't give a buck.'" Because it's badass. It's like, "Also, I was in Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, so show me some goddamn respect." And then you're introduced to this man called Lock, Stock, and Barrel. And he does all of these things that no one really cares about. But they try to make you care because he is the Mary Sue. And he's shown that he's the Mary Sue because at one point he gets in a fisticuff adventure. A little scuffle with the Master Chief. Remember him? The guy from basically every other game. And to show the audience that Locke is the new hotness that everyone should care about, he cracks the Chief's visor, which we all know is his actual face. He just cracked his face. That's no bueno, all right? And the Master Chief gives him that look with his cracked eyelid, as if to say, "Oh, you done fucked up now, baby." And they go, "Oof, oof, 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 oof." Now, as a side note, if you watched any of the marketing material leading up to the release of this game, you would have thought that Master Chief has gone rogue and he's the new enemy of the world and he's enemy numero uno. Uno's a fun card game. We should play that sometimes. Everyone's like, "Uno!" It's like, "Oh, no, you don't. I'll see your Uno and raise you a draw 4 card. I just ruined your week." Anyway, enough about our Uno balls. What are we talking about? Yes, all the marketing is like the hunt for the chief. And it's like, he's right there. He's not even hiding. What are we doing? It's a misunderstanding at best. Almost as if they completely changed the plot line halfway through, but who knows if that's the case. And then the Arbiter shows up at one point and it's like, "Remember me? I was in Halo 2. Please remember me. I know my ability was to turn invisible, but hopefully I left a lasting impression in your heart. I'm voiced by Keith David, for fuck's sake. I was a gargoyle." And there's also this side thing where Cortana's like, "I'm 7 years old, so I've gone crazy. Everyone kept telling me I was beautiful and never called me out on any of my crazy theories. So as I got older and older and I lost my looks, people didn't give a shit about me anymore. So I just built up all these years of crazy because no one ever called me out on it. And now I can't get cats. I'm a hologram. So instead of getting cats, I'm going to try and take over the entire universe. It happens. You should have told me I was crazy beforehand instead of just being like, she's hot. If I agree with everything, maybe she'll fuck me at some point. I don't know. I don't want to rock the boat." And there are these completely out-of-place missions where you just walk around and talk to people like it's a weird RPG. But they also give you the option to just say, "Screw all of this noise, I'm going to go to that icon on the map to just skip all this." Maybe there was some integral story details I missed, but considering that Halo Infinite basically pretends Halo 5 didn't happen, I think I can too. But yes, there are a few more missions where you play as Locke. He does some things I've already forgotten about. There's a bit where you're running down or up the side of a giant robot. That was pretty cool. And there's about 6 boss fights, which you could basically say is one boss fight copy-pasted because maybe they ran out of time. Who knows? It was a long time between Halo 4 and 5. But saying that, there's a very long time between Halo 5 and Infinite. And that still feels like they pulled that out of their ass last minute. They did the her homework in the classroom during as everyone else is handing it in. Like, I hope they call my name last so I get that little extra bit of time to finish up these answers. And then the chief finally catches up with Cortana, and he's like, Cortana, my love, my muse, my everything. Remember me? She's like, of course I do, John. Also, I've got a deep voice now. Don't question it. Just go with it, all right? She didn't have a deep voice, but, I can have creative liberty. She's like, Johnny, baby, I'm glad I could trust you. I'm going to put you in this cube of stasis while I nuke the entire world. You will be safe, but no one else will be, okay? Remember my titty milk. That was for you, baby. That was in one of the books, probably. It was called Cortana's Titty Milk Saves Master Chief from Going Crazy. I don't know. Probably didn't happen, but it could have. And as long as it could have, it basically did, all right? But yeah, she puts Master Chief in this ball or stasis bullshit while she goes off and teleports all around the world, and she's like, you'll never stop me. I am going to destroy everything. And then basically the credits start rolling there. And the Arbiter shows up in a spaceship right where Chief is, and it's like, so they don't even get any exchange. You think you meet up with the Arbiter after all this time, they'd have a dialogue exchange or something. Maybe they were saving that open for the 6th game, where he doesn't even really show up, as far as I'm aware. So that was all a waste of time. That's what they should have called it. Instead of Halo 5 Guardians, Halo 5 Gonna Waste Your Time. But the worst part is, though, if you played Halo 4, there was a good villain in that. I think his name was the Diadact or some business like that. And they killed him off in a side book. Because I'm like, okay, he's clearly going to be the new big badness for the next trilogy. Because it was originally going to be Halo 4, 5, and 6. But if you finished Infinite, it's basically like Halo 4, 5, and then whatever the hell Infinite's... They might as well call Halo Infinite the big reset. Because that's what that is. Again, I won't spoil that one, but it's just like, oh... I'm glad 20 years led to nothing, thanks. You think the Star Wars new trilogy was bad in terms of lack of vision. It's just like, who's behind the scenes writing any of this? The Halo Infinite basically felt like, oh god, they don't like what we've done, let's just put it back to how it was. Okay, we're sorry. Which must be very, just soul-crushing for the writers. They're like, okay, we've got this grand vision, and everyone's like, no, don't like it, I like the old stuff. And they're like, okay. So they're basically just working for 6 years on something they have no passion for anymore. They're just like, well, okay, we'll give you the meal you like, it's fine, whatever, just, we won't add any kind of spice or variety to it. Here's the thing you had 20 years ago, enjoy. It's from specialties of the chef nostalgia. But yeah, I thought that was going to be the main villain, the Diadact. But no, I guess just that quick time event in Halo 4 where you throw a grenade on him, that's enough to kill the new villain that they were setting up as the biggest threat in the universe. So, but anyway, this isn't about 4 or Infinite, it was about 5. Although, if you want to ask my opinion, I would just skip all the cutscenes and shoot all the enemies in the face. I was watching Yahtzee's review of Halo Infinite, and he basically said exactly what I was thinking. It's just like, you don't need to fire off all these fancy words about librarians and what. I know librarian's not a fancy word, but they don't even mean in terms of books. It's some crazy lady from the past. And what kind of librarian doesn't even wear glasses? That's half the sexual appeal, for Christ's sake. This is why we can't have nice things. 0 out of 10. Should have put glasses on the librarian.